Yo, what's good, man? Jasani Jacobs. Welcome to Akinyemi's Living Room.
Akinyemi.
Episode 2. Yeah. So Jasani Jacob, that's your real name?
Yeah, that's my real name.
That's a fire name.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I was born in Guyana, Georgetown, in Georgetown Hospital, Georgetown Public Hospital. I keep asking my mother what my name means. She sent me like 4 different reasons over the years. Still don't know which one it is. I Googled it. I think it says angel or blessing or something like that.
Which one you most drawn to?
I don't know. I don't think I'm really drawn to any one of them. I just like that it's unique. And I think she said something about a nurse at the hospital might have suggested her the name. She's like, oh, I think that's cool. So, you know.
Shout out that nurse.
Yeah, shout out Big Myrna.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you a manager now. Let's talk about that. Like, how does it feel? Being a manager,
good.
being a DJ.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of many roles over the years, and being a manager, I really like it, and I really like who I manage as well, or who I assist. Because I don't, even though I'm a manager, I don't know, saying like I manage, like when I introduce her as like, oh, like I manage, sometimes I feel like a little douchey. So I like to say like I assist AQ. She's South African and Guinean descent, Harlem native in New York. She does like Afro house, dance, amapiano, all that type of shit.
Shout out AQ, yeah.
Hell yeah. How you doing? You got a cool manager too, man. You have a cool sister.
Right. Shout out KAYLI, man. Killing it.
Big KK. Her name is legendary because Chief Keef got a song called KK. Yeah, you know?
That is specifically the reason why her name is legendary.
Hello. So how you doing, man? It's good to be in your living room. It's very comfortable. Plush pillows and stuff, nice couch, photograph of you in the background, it's mad official, the lighting is beautiful. It's a beautiful day.
Appreciate it. I'm good, man. I can't complain.
How does it feel to sit on your own couch?
It feels exquisite, outstanding. You know what I mean? Trying to just like create stuff that isn't really too form from what I like actually do. Like I be on this couch, so just, you know what I mean. Like so now, just inviting friends to like just chill on the couch with me and just talk shit like we would normally. Like doing that shit more often. Yeah, and just being like more familiar with the film side of things, the editing side of things, and like having that be like a language that I'm normally speaking and incorporating into my brand is like super important.
Hell yeah. Amen to that. Well, y'all definitely got a solid like film crew. Who's on your film crew, Akinyemi?
Yeah, I think it's there's a few different people. Like there's KAYLI Kimura, KAYLI Kimura, and there's also KAYLI Kimura. literally, KAYLI is killing it. She's the director, the DP, the AC, the editor, the colorist. And I'm just here soaking up knowledge, learning from her, and we're just doing it together. So it's been a blessing having her part of my team and part of the crew and part of life. Yeah niggas don't know, man. Like having somebody you can really work with on a consistent basis is like it's a blessing like none other. Cause like man, it's out of this world, man. Because like you think about things and then you come up with them. You come up with like different ways to strategize these things, and then you actually do it, and then you're like, that shit felt good. Let's do this shit again. Fact. Like growing up, one of the hardest words for our spelling bee in Guyana was community, right? Because people would not spell it with 2 M's. And it's funny, like I heard that word so much, like it kind of got drilled into like my ethos or whatever. So everything I do always comes back to some sort of communal aspect, and that is like that's community right there. And like doing that shit makes me feel good. Like when you link up with somebody and like you're like, we on the same wave, and like let's do this shit again. And then you just edit it a little bit differently the next time. You just get better and better and better. And like community is so important just for like as you expand too. Like because literally before I was working with KAYLI, like I had like the little bendy tripod and I was shooting it on my phone, and like I was valid with that, but like
knowing that I wanted to expand and up the quality, but not knowing how, or not knowing where to invest, not knowing like where to get gear from. So her being in like, nah, I got you. Like, we can make this look better.
Yeah.
Like knowing what your vision is and just making the quality better instead of trying to like pivot your vision. You feel me? So that's super important.
How much more confident does that make you feel now versus before the point of having Big KK? Like, you know, like before, you know, you might have worked with like 4 or 5 people at any given time. It might have came out the way you liked it. They might have got your vision. Like, how does that, like, what does that do for your confidence?
Yeah, confidence. I feel like I'm just expanding on what I'm able to do. So like, what I was normally just being on socials for, now I'm like, nah, this could be, I want this to be in the theater. I want this to be on a premiere. I want this to be, you know, bigger than social media. You feel me? So that's kind of where my brain is now, is like, no, we're making really, really high quality stuff that deserve to be on platforms bigger than your phone. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at right now, and seeing how we can submit to film festivals, seeing how my work can live outside of a phone. Yeah,
that's a fact. Congratulations, man. See, it's like, for one of the few times in your life, you're a little spoon now. You're a little spoon that conceived the idea, and you got Big KK come wrap around you and be like, oh, look, come on, you've been working so hard. Let me
yeah. I mean, speaking of community, like, you're probably one of the first people I think of when it comes to community, and like how you've helped us like garner our LA community. How do you feel like community has kind of been incorporated into life? How important is it to you? And what are some things you do normally to kind of foster your community?
For questions like that, I always got to go back to the root. And I mean, like, there's really no other way to answer it. And sometimes I try to like, oh, like, can I answer it like very like short form? But it does go back to the root. Growing up in Guyana, you know, I grew up in a house with 7 women. For maybe like the first 7 years of my life, I was the only guy, and just like watching how they would like organize throughout the week, and like everybody comes together on the weekend to clean and cook, and music is being played, like, or like subconsciously, like I'm like, yo, like I live inside of like a mini tribe, and then experiencing Caribbean culture, like, you know, Mashramani and like all the festivals and stuff that we have. It's like, you know, people would have been hanging out all week together, and then something's happening this week, and then everybody goes there and hang out with their own respective groups, and then everybody else together. So it's kind of always been in like my ethos that, you know, okay, for a progression of people, for like, you know, trying to figure out like how we can like mesh together, we obviously have to come together. Now, how we come together, you know, it might vary or whatever, but, you know, it's always been like, okay, you come together, you talk, you cry, you laugh, and then like you figure out like how you're gonna move forward. So because of my upbringing, it's kind of always influenced me like in that way. And every time I go to a new place, I'm always trying to figure out like, okay, after I get myself settled in, like, how am I gonna start to build community? Because I don't know, it just seems like, I don't know, back in fucking, what was that? In Eden, Garden of Eden, right? That's what it is in the Bible. There was community. It was Adam and Eve. And then God was like, oh, y'all need some people in here. So he brought the animals. And then Adam and Eve started making babies. And then the world started. So the Christians say. So, and now as far as like moving forward to where Jasani is right now, you know, we work in entertainment. And, you know, it's a cutthroat business and stuff. And I like to take a break from this stuff and just bring people together with like some food or something like that. Because I realize, especially maybe in American culture, because I live in America now, you know, maybe when I first moved to the States, 2007, like I was accustomed to seeing people barbecuing and Bed-Stuy and stuff like that. But like over the years, it hasn't been as much. And, you know, maybe some people are so caught up in their lives that they don't have the time to think about it. I fortunately have the time to think about it, because I guess as far as yin and yang goes in the world, like this might be my yin and yang. And so whenever I get a chance, I try to bring people together, because it also makes me feel good. It does something for my spirit as well. That collective effervescence, that shit feels good, because, you know, when you get, instead of having people apart all the time, if you can come together every now and again, we might be able to solve each other's problems. And the problem might not even be business. It might just be like a a yearning for connection. Like, you know, so, especially when you live in a place like LA, if you're like 20, 30, 40 minutes away, sometimes you're going through life for like 3, 4, 5 months. You didn't even know that you needed to just be in a room like with other people that are literally just enjoying themselves. Like something as small as that could really like give you like a boost. So yeah, like big time on community.
That's fire, man. Wow, a lot of gems in that. And yeah, we all need to eat, you know what I mean? So like,
that's a fact.
So it's just to see how you've been able to foster community by just bringing people together and having a meal, something similar, like that could be very separated, where like, you know, we all eat at different restaurants, we might eat at home, or like, so bringing people out of their, I guess, quote unquote comfort zone, and having meals with other people that are probably going through the same thing, probably feeling as isolated as you are, probably like also wanting to find community, and then being in that space and being able to feel free to just speak. That is like, when I went to that dinner you threw, that was like how I felt. I was like, everyone was just like, you know, super open. A lot of time I go to LA events, and it's like, it'd be intimidating. Like, you don't necessarily want to break into someone's conversation. You don't feel as open to like go up and meet somebody that you don't know there. So you feel like, oh, I gotta stick with people I came with. So that was one of the few events where I'm like, I could literally talk to every single person here, and we're all on the same even playing field. So yeah.
Hell yeah, amen to that, man. Community first, family first.
Family first.
This is not a Fast and Furious ad, but if you guys want to throw some money on this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word.
But yeah, I'm big on like chosen family too. Like, you know, like we have friends that like through these community events like have been as close as family, you know.
Yeah, I fuck with the chosen family heavy. Like some of my chosen family, I'm very proud of all of you. I love you. One of my oldest friends, Omar Rivas, he's definitely been He's definitely been a chosen family of mine, and I love that guy like no other. I would fight for him, I would kill for him, and I probably would also kill him.
That's how family. It be like that, right, though.
Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna kill you.
Both sides of the coin.
Yeah, but yeah, like, you know, I guess before I was living in America, I didn't really the chosen family wasn't like a part of like my thing, or it wasn't something that, you know, I was even like aware of. But moving to, you know, New York, I was like, man, like, you know, I gotta make friends. And as I started to make friends, you know, some people I'm like, wow, like we could have been playing soccer like 5 years ago back in the Caribbean. And it's very nice when you can meet people that you could like that you can mesh with. So yeah, I'm big on the chosen family, because sometimes the real family, you know, for whatever reason, maybe they came from broken backgrounds from, you know, before. You know, sometimes, you know, where they are at in life and where you are at in life is two different places. And even though you're blood, you might not be able to mesh. I mean, shit, look at Bridgerton. Look at fucking Game of Thrones. Like, a lot of people that's family members don't like each other. So,
yeah, that's a fact.
You know, yeah, and they got the bag. They got the bag.
Period. Let's talk about, like, how you started bringing people together through tennis. Like, why tennis? And, like, why did you choose to kind of have that be the medium to have a bunch of people together? And
well, I just turned 30 this year. Shout out to big Taurus gang.
Hey, shout
I'm
out
a Taurus, Leo moon, Libra rising. I don't know if that means anything to you.
I don't know about all the rising and stuff.
Yeah, but we rising up. My sister's a Libra. Shout outs. And I attract Leo. Shout outs to all the Leos.
This man.
Shout out to all the Leos. But so I turned 30 this year, and I was like, man, I'm trying to figure out, my goal in life is really to live a balanced life as much as possible. Like, you know, my superficial goal in life is that I would like a Rolls Royce before I die. Because if I have a Rolls Royce, that means that all my other bills are paid, right? Like, you don't buy a car like that unless like you can legitimately afford a car like that. You know?
I'm glad you said because all my bills are paid. Because like, you know, people be buying Rolls Royces and not having bills paid.
And I respect that, because you got to live one life. But also, I don't want to be worrying about, oh, I got to pay $12,000 from property tax or some shit, and I'm driving a Rolls Royce.
Right.
I ain't trying to worry about that.
So
yeah. So
I wonder what balance means to you. Like, what is balanced life?
Right. So yeah, and also to the Rolls Royce thing, I don't want a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, because I'm a crash that. I'm a Guyanese guy. We drive fast. Rolls Royce is nice and heavy. It's gonna keep me safe. So
when I was thinking about the different ways I want to have my life balanced, I was like, okay, well, I have friends, I have ambition, I eat good, I eat fairly good, like for the most part. I was like, what am I doing about like health and wellness, right? Okay, sure, I've been meditating. I need to go do therapy because I just think it's just like healthy, and you know, probably gonna be married in like the next 5 years, so you gotta do some therapy, make sure you like sift out some things before you go put a ring on somebody's daughter's finger. And I was like, I could also do more exercise. I don't exercise like that, but I do like exercise, but I hate going to the gym. And I was like, me and my chef, so before I did entertainment, I was a chef for like 15 years, and one of my most favorite chefs that I've worked under, Koyd, he just moved to LA. He's about to open up a restaurant. We were kind of like spitballing, and somehow we got on the subject of tennis. And I was like, you know what, Koyd? I'm down with tennis because I can see myself pulling up in a Rolls Royce with my little tennis shoes, and like we gonna get active. And he was like, word? I was like, word. Then he's like, yo, fuck it, let's go on Amazon right now and buy 2 rackets. I was like, oh. I like the way you talking. So then, you know, we put 20 each, you feel me? And we could both buy our own tennis rackets, but I don't know, it just felt like like we're gonna do this thing together. I don't know, I don't care, whatever.
One order.
Yeah, like one order, like no, we're doing this, right? We're doing this, great. Yeah. And then we started going out to play, and then I saw these Asian dudes on the court, and these guys are like 60, 70, and they're just moving beautifully. And I was like, I think we might have stumbled upon the right thing, because it's good for your mobility. You know, you can play really controlled, or you can play where you're running for the ball, and that's good for your cardio and shit like that.
It's good for your mind too.
Exactly, because you know, it's like yin and yang. It's like somebody might slam really hard at you or spike the ball really hard at you. Tennis people don't butcher me. I'm only been playing for like 4 months officially, so you know, I don't know what the term is, but like, you know, they'll Serena Williams that bitch at you. That's what and you can't Serena Williams that bitch back. Like sometimes you gotta just like let it like bounce off your racket. Sometimes you gotta like slice it, you know, and
Naomi it. You gotta
right. You gotta Osaka that John. Word. And you know, and I like it because your brain power, working on your brain power, working on your hand-eye coordination, working on your breathing, stuff like that. So, and I've been falling in love with it. And you know, I was like, man, I wonder if other people might like this thing. And I just started, me and my friend Daryl, we started making flyers and just inviting people out to play tennis on Sunday morning. And that's been really good too. And like, it's cool because it's outside of like the club setting and stuff like that, you know, I don't always want to meet people in the club. You can't even really talk to them in the club. Like after like a hi and what's up. Yeah. Even though sometimes I want to talk to people, but like, what the fuck can I say? You're gonna be like, huh? And then like it just fucks up the whole conversation.
Yeah, I like it because the joint you did at Elysian Park that I pulled up to, like, it's a team building exercise. You know, like when you get a job, like one of the first things you do is like an icebreaker or a team building, like to see how you work with a person. If y'all could play tennis together and y'all could be in coordination, chances are y'all could work together in other parts of your life. You feel me? So just knowing that, like, oh, okay, got you. He want to hit the ball every time. He not trying to pass it, or he not trying to let me rock it, or you know, he not trying to let me serve. Or what if you got like having a communication like that? I've noticed translates a lot into your business practices, for real.
Well, yeah, and I definitely you know, I got the button-up shirt on and shit today. I'm trying to give like young dad vibes. I don't have any kids yet, and I think tennis is good for patience as well, because I find myself teaching people, and like I never considered I would be teaching anybody how to play fucking tennis. I mean, I'm still learning my damn self, but I have patience already. But it's good when I work with somebody that doesn't know much about even how to hold a racket, because I'm like, yo, this is cool. Like, we both can take a minute and just breathe a little bit slower. And I know it's good for the other person too, because, you know, doing new things are like intimidating. And I do believe that, like, you know, if you can have someone there to like help you usher in like into this new like atmosphere, it's good. And I like, you know, I like being able to help people out with that as well.
Fire. Yeah,
so what's up with you, man? You know, you just came from New York. You did some shows. You went to Japan this year. Like, you know, like, what are some of your favorite things about, like, you know, like the industry that you're in? Like, are you happy with the industry that you're in? Are you happy with where you are at in life right now? Like, you know, like, what's up?
Yeah, I feel like so right now in the music industry, there's like a lot of advancements going on, and I feel like low key the most powerful in terms of what we're able to do as an artist yourself without any outside help. You know what I mean? So like the team is literally me and KAYLI, and the amount that we've been able to do is like almost battling like major label teams, almost battling like teams who have an excessive amount of people on their team helping them on every aspect. Not to say that it's easy, but the ability to do it and like to be able to compete. So like I feel like when I'm in this industry and I'm like putting things out and able to see results almost immediately, being able to get syncs on my own, be able to pitch on my own, to be able to like things that were once gate kept are now the gates are opening, and literally like anyone can go in there like just by making a TikTok or making a reel or just being consistent. And people, it's now more in the hands of the people who are watching the creators and being like, that's dope. And the creators are like, cool, they put out more dope things. And it's more like a one-to-one connection versus like a major label that's on top, kind of like a puppeteer. So that's how I feel. And in terms of like me and how I'm communicating with people, it's been a lot more organic, because I'm like, yo, this is what y'all want, cool, I'm gonna do this. And then there doesn't have to be like an outside source. So that's how I've been feeling about the music industry, and I've been approaching it like that too. I'm like, cool, like what I'm a fan of are the things that I'm going to make, and you'll naturally attract the people who like the same things you like by doing that, and you'll build a fan base that likes the same things you like. And you know, when I do shows, when I like make content, I think about what would I like to see, and I've been making things like that, and it's kind of been translating. We've been growing since then.
So if you could go on like a tour maybe before the end of the year, like who do you think you would like to go with? Just putting things out into the ethos.
Mindy. I love to tour with y'all, man. Y'all doing dope things, man. I love to tour it.
You heard that, Mindy?
You heard? Let's do it. Yeah, Mindy, Toby Lou, Saba, John Doe, T-Pain. I don't know. Smino.
Yeah, you can sing.
I'll be singing.
You should sing some more, to be honest.
Word. You want to hear some more singing?
Yeah, man. Yeah, like do some weird shit, bro.
Yeah.
Do some weird shit in between all this shit.
Yeah, I low key like the stuff I've been making recently. I've been
all
like,
you gotta do for me.
Yeah,
now.
I've been singing. I've been like harmonizing. I've been doing layers. I've been like really just playing what you might expect, you know. Because I think it's easy for me, like doing just the bars, that's easy. But singing is more like a bag that, like, what do I want to wash my dishes to? What do I want to take a shower to? Like, what can I clean my crib with and not feel like, oh, what's that? Let me skip that. Like, that's the type of music I want to make. Like, literally, like, you listen to the whole album, you're loving every record, you're singing along to it. You want to hear it live and sing along to it. That's not to say it needs to be slow and R&B, but that's the type of record I want to make where you feel good. Period. That's it.
Yeah, I think I would like to see you on some house music-esque stuff too, because you did a project. I don't know if it was a project or just a few songs with Bureaucratic.
Yeah.
And one of them sounded like it was about to be a house record.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
Time. You talking about Time?
Yeah. And I was like, ooh, this nigga just pump fake me. But I was like, this is exciting because what if it was a you know, like, you know, yeah, I think you could, you know, Reggie Snow that bitch. You know Reggie Snow?
Yeah, I know Reggie Snow. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely down to like take records that I've made and like remix them. So like, you know, give them to DJs and kind of make it more in that space. Or even like, I think there's been a few like how like I've grew up listening to like drum and bass and like grime and house. So like I'm familiar with the space.
Yeah.
And I have rapped over like I used to grow up rapping over K-Tronada beats and like beats that were in that space that you know, the 100 BPM, just the four on the floor type of vibe. Yeah, I just love to do it. I just need to, you know, meet some more people that are in that space and doing things that I like.
So yo, you were born in New York?
Yeah, Queens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, shout out Queens. My mother live in Queens right now. Shout out Big Myrna.
Shout out Myrna.
What school did you go to?
I went to Thomas Edison high school.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. Edison. I rarely hear people say Thomas Edison. Or you said Thomas Edison.
I said Thomas.
But niggas would just say Edison.
Yeah,
That's a legendary school. Like
I be saying the whole thing. I be
yeah.
saying Thomas A. Edison, Korean Technical Education High School. I went there. Bow.
I went to E Hall Erasmus. What a wild fucking time that was. How'd you like?
That?
That's in Flatbush. When I moved to America, 2007, Barack Obama was about to become president. I was very much like, why is it a big deal? That's a black dude about to become president. That is a crazy time. Because I definitely saw racism.
First president was Barack though?
First president was Barack. Well, I guess like Bush, Barack, right? It was Bush before Barack.
It was like Bush was like getting pieced out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was definitely that happening. Because in Guyana, our first president was Chinese. So I was like, I thought the whole world had like different types of colors for presidents and stuff. I didn't realize it was. I mean, I know racism and all that, but like, I mean, it was racism in Guyana too. We had different color presidents. I didn't get that.
Wow.
At first, I didn't get that it was a big deal for America to have the first black president, but I get it now. Yeah, and I went to school at E Hall, man, like on Flatbush. When you first moved there, I was living in Canarsie. And American high school was quite the experience, man. I got into a lot of trouble. I almost got expelled for arson.
Oh my God! You don't need. We don't know.
Nah, it's cool. Yeah, my mother knows. My mother actually transferred to work to be a teacher at my school because she was like, "Boy, you getting out of hand." Yeah.
She said, "Nah, put him in my class."
But, the reason I asked because like your New York experience, like going to school, maybe getting like a beef patty, like like after class, like going to get a deli sandwich, like like when you think back to like those moments, like how do you think they might have like shaped like who you are today?
My school specifically. So I went to Edison, right? Near my school, there literally was like 4 high schools, right? There was Edison, Jamaica High School, Gateway. There's like a bunch of high schools, right? Edison was kind of like viewed as like the nerdy kind of, because we had like you pretty much could have a major in the school. So I was studying like A+ computer repair while at school, and I got certified to be a computer repair technician, and I was like fixing people's computers and getting paid for it. Like I was like in Geek Squad for Best Buy. And then there was like automotive, there was like web design, there was robotics. So like kids were like 13, there was like 14-year-old kids doing robotics and like being fire at it. In that school though, like the vastness of ethnicities were like, there was like Guyanese, Trinidadian, Bangladesh, like Asian, African, everything, right? And when we left school, they had extracurricular programs for each of these clubs. Like they would like have food, like you could, there's no excuse for you not to know any other people's culture. And I'm glad I grew up in New York because it wasn't such a huge, like, college wasn't my first experience of seeing somebody else with a different color. You know what I mean? Like, so that really grounded me. And in terms of like, literally, I would leave school. There's like a hill. You walk down the hill. They had beef patties, they had halal food, they had pizza, they had everything, you know what I mean? So you could have every different types of culture, and people did, you know, and there was like white families that came from Long Island, and now they're in school in Jamaica, and they get out of school and they don't, you know, they're waiting for their mom to pick them up, but they eating beef patties, they eating, you know what I mean? So it was cool to see kind of people transported through this school into different cultures.
Yeah. So I have a question. When was the last time you felt sexy?
Yo.
When's the last time you felt sexy? Maybe you looked in the mirror, or maybe you just like, I don't know, you just put some shit on. Maybe you just like got your...
I mean, I say often, you know what I mean? Like here, I think especially, I've been working out more and I've been running, like, and I think just when you take care of yourself, you feel sexy. You know what I mean? When you have a fire shower, or you like going on a long run, or you come back from the gym, you're like, yo, I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm like, I'm feeling myself. And that's how we should feel, though. Like, we should, like, be hype on how we look and how we feel. Like, that should be normal.
That's hard as fuck. I like that. When's the last time you cried?
I don't know. It's been a minute. like I lately been crying of laughter more than of sadness. But yeah,
Amen to that.
amen. You? When was the last time you
Last
felt
time
sexy?
I cried, you know, it might have been 2 days ago, because I'll be going to Ralph's and getting this like African body oil,
Fire.
and like, I don't know, like when you are fresh out of the shower and then like you lather up, I don't give a damn how ugly the world might perceive you to be. Like that. That's like you lathered up. Like
head to toe though.
Head to toe. No, head to toe. And you know, I know Twitter was going crazy about people not washing the feet. Y'all better wash y'all damn feet.
Oh, that's crazy.
But like,
Not washing the feet is crazy.
I lathered my hands and I was like, yo, like this is crazy. Like I'm not ashy today. Today's a good day.
Yeah.
You know, I find myself feeling more sexy when it's tied to like something of gratitude, because the sexy thought doesn't come first. It's more like, oh, like I'm appreciative of this. Then it's like, oh, I feel good, or like, oh yeah, I'm that guy. That's what's up. Okay. And the last time I cried, I don't know, it might have been in like 20. I'm due for a cry. I ain't gonna hold you. Like the last time I cried for real was probably like, I don't know, 2019. Like I did like a demo for my friend Nello, and she made this amazing song, and I was listening to it, and it was right before I was about to move to LA, and it was just like a turbulent time for me. I was feeling like I was out of touch with nature. Like, you know, New York is so beautiful, but you know, to get to nature, like you gotta like travel. And growing up in Ghana, like I was on a farm. I used to milk cows, and like used to hang out in like the sugarcane fields. I needed like that stimulation, and the song sounded like a sunny day. And I was sober, and I just kept playing it over and over, and it had like these keys, and I was just like, nah, and I cried in my mother's car, and I was like, oh my God, this shit feel good. And then I was like, man, I wish I could do this shit some more, because I don't want to do it like just when I'm sad and shit.
That's beautiful.
You know?
So you ain't crying 4 years?
I guess so, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, you cry, bro. Your TikToks is like bursted.
And like maybe like a month ago, like I definitely, I was feeling like all on my birthday I was feeling, so that's about a month ago. I was feeling melancholy, and I wanted to cry, but it didn't come out like I wanted to. It was just like, and I was like, damn. So I'm trying to figure out. That's why I'm trying to stack this bread, so I could like pay for therapy. Because first of all, therapy should be free anyways, and not free in a way that like it fucks the therapist, like the government. Somebody like we paying taxes. Be like, let's fucking, you know, let's fucking get some therapy.
What's your ideal therapy session look like? Is it like, you know, online? Is it like in person?
Nah, it would be something like this, like in person, and maybe they'll let me smoke a blunt in there and shit, you know. Maybe they'll let me do some acid or something, because I don't care. You want to talk to me in my whole brain? Like, let's try it in different forms. Yeah. And let's you know, do some research, come back to it.
The name of this therapy, I think it's like EPMD or something like that. And it kind of will tell you like different parts of your brain and stuff like that that's going on. And then they have more of therapists that are just like, let's like talk therapy. So yeah.
Hello, this is a BIPOC production. Nah, facts. Yeah. Oh, we just gonna shout out to Danny right now. Danny Wise, you hear me? Danny.
Shout out Danny.
You know, one thing about birthdays, you know, is they're very reflectful for me, and I try very hard to like do better. Not like in a goody two shoes type of way, you know, like, you know, I've been in trouble before, you know, whatever, but I definitely like make an effort to do better. We should all like try to do things like, for right now, you know, like I'll just go to the beach. I'll go to the beach, put my feet in the sand, you feel me? Then go for a nice swim and just enjoy like that silence, enjoy like the waves, like, and like, you know, it definitely does something. So, you know, there's other ways, economical ways, until, you know, you're able to get on a nice regimen as you would like. But, you know, I'm definitely like an advocate for like just trying to do shit that can help you cope in this world, because like this world is crazy. What do you mean I have a hand? Like what? Like this shit is crazy, and then you could move it and you could feel it, and like you're not doing too much, but your brain is actually like it's you know, like I didn't tell myself to do that, but I know I can move my hands, like, you know, like
out of every animal on the earth, we became human, you know. It's
exactly,
yeah,
and
that's
you know,
a blessing in itself.
Yeah, and I know it's hard for people out there. Shit is hard for me sometimes, you know. In 2018, I seriously like considered suicide, made like a whole plan, wrote like a whole note and all that. Wow. You know, so, and the way I got up out of it was like on the day that I was right before I was about to go and like, because I was living in Canada at the time. I was 16, I didn't get it, like in the glacier. But I was in Pickering, Toronto, staying at my boy's crib, and right before I was about to drive off and do it, I was like, hey man, you should eat something before you die. Like, you want to die on an empty stomach?
Not some food saving you.
Yeah, and then I was like, I need to find African food. That's what I'm gonna eat before I die. And then I Googled and I saw that Serge Ibaka's, the basketball player, his favorite restaurant was actually like 5 minutes from where I was staying at in Pickering. And I was like, yeah, I'm finna go eat that shit. I went over there and me and them ladies was vibing so much. I was there for like an hour.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, I gotta go sleep this shit off. Ain't nobody dying today.
Wow.
And and then after that, I was just like, well, maybe you should try the next day. I was like, I'm gonna just try something else that I think is fun and see how like that makes me feel. And luckily I'm still here. But I definitely do think about the people that even if maybe they don't have the support, but maybe they don't have the brain power that might allow them to be like, hey, maybe let me just try something.
Therapy is expensive, you know what I mean? So I've been like journaling a bunch, like in the morning. So like if you wake up and like write down your thoughts, like in any way, form or fashion, like that will help like whatever that thought is kind of become on paper, and you can move forward for future thoughts. Especially as a writer, like I write down things that might inhibit like for me to like kind of break through to another creative thought, like whether that's frustrations, like accomplishments, anything that I feel like needs to get out. And then when I go write a song, I'm in a new place and I can write about anything, you know what I mean? I'm not necessarily like the song doesn't necessarily have to be the journal entry that I needed earlier, right? So now that journal entry is down, cool, addressed it, boom, put it away. Now this song can kind of be from a perspective that I want to be from, or that I feel like I need to speak on, that that isn't necessarily jumping over that thought or that frustration that I had prior. So yeah, so journaling has been super important to kind of check in, like, oh, this is how I'm feeling, or even as in like on the business side of things, I have this idea, but like I don't know which angle to go, and then I'll journal about it, and I'll immediately know the next 2, 3, 4 steps I need to take, and that can be cool. Addressed it, and then I'll switch from my journal to my like to-do list. Boom, that needs to go here. Cool, and then go and figure out what next step I need to take in my business side to like accomplish those things. Yeah, so that's been super helpful for me. And as a person that like doesn't necessarily have the funds to pay for a therapist right now, that's kind of been my therapy. Like has been, and there's different forms of therapy other than talk therapy, and I'm more of a writer than a speaker. So like I've been finding like a lot of value in that. All right, so as a entrepreneur, a business owner, and a DJ, like how do you feel you take care of yourself? Like how do you practice self-care?
Definitely enjoying moments alone by myself to like recharge my energy. My most popular self-care thing right now is taking a wonderful shower. A nice fucking shower. Lather up, take my time. Aside from that, it's treating myself to a good meal every now and again. Like when I get like a nice little bump in the bank account, I take myself on a date. And I just like enjoy like the true flavors of the world, have like a ratatouille moment. And the third thing would probably just be going to nature. Like my favorite thing to do is to be underneath a tree. So like, like when you lie, like let's say you're right at the trunk of a tree and you lie down, you look up, you can just see like the bottom of the leaves. It just gives me a feeling of like, I don't know, like in a sense, childhood, like security, like safety, like just goodness. Like it's like, it's like the feeling of when you look back at like photographs of yourself and you're like, wow, I remember that day. That was a good day. Like I get that same feeling like, lying down from under a tree on a nice sunny day. So yeah, the things I do for For my self-care, pretty simple. Yeah, I guess it's just three things, right? Taking a nice shower, eating something good, and sitting under a tree.
Fire.
It's photosynthesis, bro. We breathe out, they breathe in, shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, let's unpack that. Like, what makes the shower wonderful? Like, you got any products you use? Is there any things that
honestly,
make it,
I
more
think
wonderful than
I like
regular?
water. Water is such a unique, I don't know. Water's not a mineral, right? It's a element. It's such a unique element. Like it can fill up the shape of damn near anything. Like we can't essentially kind of make it. Like it's been in existence since forever. I don't know. It's just like I like water. Like Bruce Lee, you got a floor like water. Like I don't know why. Growing up in the Caribbean, bro, like we go outside, we swim a lot, we swim in creeks. Actually one of my favorite ways to take a shower is the old school way, which is like you got a bucket of water, you pour your hot water inside, and then you scoop up. Like, I mean,
that's how it was when we was in Japan. Like that's how when you.
Oh, that's how you showered? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, like before you go into like an onsen, which is like a hot bath, like everybody butt ass naked, and then before you get into it, like you gotta sit on a bucket and then wash yourself like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like it's very like everybody on the same playing field. So yeah. I definitely, I resonate with that.
Yeah, something about that. It's like, I don't know what. I guess because it's so natural. Maybe I just don't have the vocabulary for it. But like, it feels amazing. Like when you put that bowl over your head and it's just like, whoosh.
yeah. I think it's like a large volume of water hitting you at one time rather than like a shower, which is just kind of like I think that's what it is too. Yeah,
and you can't wait for the next one, but it's coming because you got to do it, but you can't wait until the next one comes back again. And man. And then like growing up in Guyana, everybody didn't have like bathrooms per se. So sometimes some of us had like outhouses or even like when my mother got a job at the bank, we had she built a house, a nice 2-story house and everything. And I would still sometimes go outside and just shower in the yard instead, like, because it just, because sometimes you'd be riding through the neighborhood and it'd be like a couple of people just like lathering up vigorously. And so I'm always like, I don't know, like, I guess people like to be clean, we like to be clean, fresh and clean, right? So yeah. That's what's up, And as far as the food, I don't know. I used to sneak down to the kitchen late at night when I was living at my Aunt Cheryl's house, and we used to like make like food at like 1-2 o'clock in the morning because Caribbean African parents, like they would be strict about like the food regimen, the food rations and stuff, and like as like a young kid, I mean, I feel you, but also like I be wanting to snack.
I be getting hungry.
So my Granny Joan, she used to like wait. Her ears were so keen, and she would wake up in the night and catch us like making like a hot dog or like a milkshake with like Clem milk, the powdered milk. And one day she's like, Jasani, you should just be a chef since you like food so much. And that kind of like, and I was like, that kind of stuck with me, and I was like, I do like food so much. So now I would just try to try all the different flavors because, we sometimes we were boxed in based on our region with the type of things we eat, and I do realize that like that it holds us back, like it keeps us ignorant to like just like these flavor palettes. And we shouldn't. I know it's it's a little challenging sometimes to try a different texture or something, but we should try. Like all it's gonna do is just open up your palate. Your tongue is gonna be like, oh wow, like I'm yearning for this and for this and for this, and it's a good way for meeting people and just being educated. Like you're educating yourself about your own body, if anything, because like you're like, I know what I like, I know what I don't like. Kind of like how people like wine and they're winos, like That's how I am with the food. Like I'm looking for all those ratatouille moments.
Dope. So like when you said you was a chef for 15 years, like where did you cook at? Like
I don't know, all type of restaurants in New York City. Some of them prestigious, some of them, regular. But I didn't really want to go to college. I only was gonna go because it was gonna make my mom happy. And I wanted to make her happy, but I wanted to make myself happy. And so I dropped out of college to intern for Cinematic Records under Johnny Shipes and them. And I was like, I'm about to be a music executive. It's lit. It didn't end up that way. The artist that we were put with, he ended up being problematic in the end. So, and sometimes like you might have good people on the team, but like if you get assigned to an artist and like the label is not looking at them in a positive light, they might not consider all the other people that might have been good on the team. So I was like, maybe I'll just go to culinary school instead. A friend of mine, Sade, she's an amazing chef and baker. She was like, yeah, I went to this school, try it out. And I was like, well, at least I'll have like a trade for the rest of my life. You know, people always need to eat no matter like what happens. So yeah, that was that thing, and it was cool. But it's not like for me. It's not a thing I'm gonna do with the rest of my life. I prefer to cook in a setting where it's just for like my loved ones, and I could try like a different menu. Cooking on the line, it's really cool, but only really cool when you have like the right group of people working with. And there's only been maybe like 1 or 2 restaurants where I felt like the whole team was cohesive. People that work in the kitchen, like some of them live really hard lives. And sometimes, you know, the kitchen is literally like a battleground. It's like a battleground, but also a community. So we're supposed to work together, but then people's attitudes or whatever, like it interrupts the flow. And I'm looking for like a chill, like, bro, none of us want to work, right? Why are we bringing this shit here?
Yeah.
Like, let's just smoke a fat ass blunt and go knock these orders out. And you know, I realized, you know, because I have a strong personality or whatever, and it was clashing too much. So I was like, I need to like pivot. You gotta listen to yourself.
Period. Yeah, but that's dope that you were able to like go to culinary school, learn, like be trained. You know what I mean, and then take that back to the kitchen. You know what I mean, kind of just take that back to like home cooking too, which is like really fire. Like
I mean, my favorite style, even though like I like French cuisine and all that, and Italian and all the things they teach you in culinary school, but my thing is like I call it Caribbean soul food. It's like a mixture, like, you know, American soul food mixed up with Caribbean, like just straight up comfort, you know, because that's all we need. We need comfort. You know, sometimes people ask me why I smoke weed, because it's like a weighted blanket. It's like this, just putting a weighted blanket on you as you walk through your day. You know, and sometimes you might feel anxious. Yeah, give me a hug. Like niggas just need a hug. You like, shout out to the guy in New York that be like free hugs. Like people just need a hug sometimes, and like, you know, sometimes you can't just be all up on people. You get your little joint and carry on with your day. But so what about you? What do you do for your self care?
I like going on walks. Yeah, we listen to like podcasts. I go to the gym. I'll be working. I don't know. I have like my relationship with work is like really positive because I'm working with my partner and we're both like doing what we love to do in terms of like making films, like working on videos and like editing, like even like editing this interview, like or editing interviews like this, like it's mad fun because like the little you go in and you kind of like are learning more about each other. You go in and learning about that stuff. So that it's like work and it's also self-care for me too, which is kind of how I've been trying to approach like any passion that I do. It's like it has to fuel me as much as I give it. You know what I mean? So yeah, been and hanging with friends honestly, and just like have an opportunity to like know that your world is like bigger than your view, and how do people approach things? What are some recommendations they go to? What are things they have in their pantry that I don't have, or like you know, stuff like that. I always like just kick it with friends, and that always fuels me to like come back home and like fine tunes my purpose. Like, oh, got you, yeah, let's get it.
You remember how we met each other coming around in New York?
I think it was one of those situations where like I knew who you were before you knew who I was. Like just because you used to throw these events with Shutdown Boys, and I would just pull up, to the guys, and it was just mad people there. And I was like, shout out to what y'all built. You know what I mean? Like you and Sponge and like and LeVar
and Teddy.
Yeah, Dick by Air.
Dick by Air. Yeah.
I used to pull up to those events, and I was like, yo, they really doing something totally different for New York, and like bringing people together in a way that I haven't seen. Because I was the person that would just go to like either music type of events or concerts and venues, stuff like that. So these were parties, but they didn't feel like ratchet, or they didn't feel like they just felt like accepting of everybody that was there, which was like really fire.
I was very inspired by Peter Gatien, who opened Limelight in New York, legendary club. That's where Funkmaster Flex used to play and shit like that. And just like other guys that own clubs, the guys that did Studio 54. And I was like, man, you know, you know, I started to DJ, and then my cousin Sponge, he was been DJ. Yo, oh my god, he was DJing before me. His DJ name was K Blaze when he was like 13, and I was like, yo, this dude is so cool. And I don't know, I think we were hanging out with his friend Bill one night, and he was like, yo, y'all should do a group, and then it started to form like that. But it came out of, you know, we wanted a party where everybody could come, like the Asian kids, the white kids, and everything. So our goal was to play, like, be open with our music selection. Like, we played house. Like, I remember like trying to push African music there, and it took a while for people to like get into it. So nah, that's what's up. Yeah, shit.
But
Damn,
then,
that's like a lifetime ago.
But yeah, I think honestly we probably got reconnected through Danny.
Yeah, like, shout out Danny. Yeah.
You went on when you was on tour with Mindy, and you know, you linked up with Danny.
And then you was at the New York concert, and we got to chop it up a second day, and my family was there. Yeah, that was a good fucking day.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah, you be outside, man. Yeah, don't ever be scared to go outside by yourself. It's good.
Nah, I be going outside. Yeah, I be going outside. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy that we connected. You know, it's nice. You know, when you work especially in this type of industry, you know, you meet a lot of people, but sometimes you don't always get to make a friend. And like, you know, I like to make a friend because, you know, but if I get sick or some shit, I don't know, like I might need to bring me over some soup or some shit. You know, word. Damn.
You know what I mean?
Damn. See, that's the sound of ass being smacked. Niggas say,
I mean, you could tell a lot about a person like by the dap they give. If it's like, you ever give somebody a dap and you just feel unfulfilled? You just like,
that's very real.
I'll be like,
that's very real. Wow. Yeah. So how do you like working with a woman in like your close team, your close quarters?
I think that's the only way. Like I feel like I should have done it a long time ago. Like it's just a level of awareness that you don't necessarily always have. There's a level of care that you don't necessarily always have. Like my branding has been like super on point. KAYLI has always been like this like A&R for me. Even prior to when she was like officially my manager. Like she was like managing me before I'm a manager because she was around, and then like I'd play her stuff and she'd be like, no, like having like women know music and they know what moves people, what is a vibe, what is not a vibe. Like, so when I play stuff for her and she's like, nah, that ain't it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I could be like, oh, that's just your opinion. Or I could like take it. And there's been times where pretty much like every single time where she's played me, I played her something and she's been like, nah, that ain't it. I go play for everybody and they'd be like, yo, that's not it. Or she'd be like, yo, this is fire, you need to finish this. And I'll go play to other people's like, yo, that's fire, you should finish that. So it's just like has this innate feeling of, yo, this is fire, and like has like an understanding of who I am, and bringing that to kind of me and my artistry has like been huge. So I think everybody needs women on their team because they just have an understanding and they just care and they're really fucking good at their job.
Yes, and it shouldn't be taboo. You know, I brought it up because it's even in today's day and age, it's still like considered taboo. Women still not getting paid like the bread that they should be getting paid as like their male counterparts. And that shit don't make no sense. If we all come from the pussy, why is you giving the pussy a hard time? You should give the pussy a nice, easy time. Don't be giving them no hard time. You want to give your mother such a hard time? I mean, when I was a teenager, sorry mom, but I was a teenager. I was coming up in the world. But like, you know, once you reach a certain level of understanding, like some of these big grown men in the music industry, still giving the women a hard time. Pay them. I feel what you're saying, man. I love working with AQ a lot. She's actually like my favorite person to work with. It's before we started working officially, I was kind of just like a fan and a friend. Like I had saw her play at LeBain one night, and I was like, yo, this is the greatest DJ like ever. What is going on? And she had like a manager at the time, and I would just almost find myself saying like, yo, why y'all ain't doing this? Why y'all ain't doing this? She was like, you know, I don't know, whatever the fuck the reason was. And then I guess we've been working together officially for like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 years. And there's nothing better Like I love it. We have a great relationship. Like we can yell at each other and go have dinner. Well, one of our favorite things to do is to smoke a joint and like eat together. Like we, you know,
That's amazing. That's dope though. Like y'all should be friends, and I think just the way that your artist manager relationship kind of fostered is so organic. Where like you're there and you're showing up and you're seeing like, yo, why isn't this being done? Mm-hmm. And literally that's the same way that Kayli's in our relationship was being done. Like I had a manager, she was there like, yo, why isn't this being done? And then literally we handle it, and we're like, we slowly start to realize, this person, not it, you, it. Like,
yeah.
And slowly start to make that team. And it might take years, it might take months, but as long as that change is being done, like everybody's leveling up. I'm sure like AQ has such a way better career path, and like you're officially part of the team because you've been there, you know what I mean? And the other manager wasn't doing what they should have been doing.
Yeah, I'm very proud of her. She did Coachella this year. She did a smaller stage. Maybe we could do something bigger next year. And I don't know when this is coming up, but we're about to go to Toronto to do Boiler Room.
Hey,
I'm excited. I couldn't get Boiler Room for Shutdown Boys, but shit, we got Boiler Room for AQ. And I'm very proud of that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future, man. I really do. I love working with women. Grew up in the house with predominantly women. And maybe because that's my background, maybe like it's a little bit easier for me to get in there. But I don't know. Maybe. But I don't know. We should kill the ego a little bit. Like, you know, it's unfortunate that it's still something that's like,
I feel you. Yeah. It is.
You know, it's like
I understood 100%.
Like, what the fuck? Like, what can I say that hasn't been said already? But yeah, I just want to shout that out, man. Shout outs to all the women that are like working all the teams. Like, shit. Sometimes I think one of the best digital marketers right now is this girl named Natalie. I forgot what label she works at, but shout out to Nat. You're gonna see this sometime whenever. And you know, they're helping like really shift. I mean, they're helping shift the change. That's who we come from.
Facts.
You know, so
Yeah.
we're at, okay. Well, you know, we this is us just doing our small part in the yin and yang of the whole world of saying that, hey, this is what we believe should be out there. This mentality of like, yo, you know, let's support them.
Yes, man.
Because they support us all the time. I know a bunch of rappers that didn't have the money, that been taken care of by women. I've been taken care of by women. You know, we all get taken care of by women at some point in our lives. And yeah, let's stop making that shit taboo.
Facts. Yeah, so like in terms of like just on like the trajectory of your career, where do you see yourself as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a being, as a business owner?
Yeah. I love and hate this question. I love and hate this question so much because you know what, my mind goes blank, and my mind goes blank. That not just it's not because I don't have an answer, but because I know that like the answer could change.
Period.
But I'm working on a few things right now. I have my hot sauce company, O to Able. We doing stuff with AQ. You know, I'm probably going to be doing like more events and stuff later. And I see myself growing all of these things, you know. It's been a tough battle trying to grow these things because I personally don't have a team, but I'm a part of other people's teams. So it's kind of hard trying to do everything that I do. But I see myself, honestly, more so continuing to double down and being persistent, and to try to have good business practices, and hopefully within the next 2 years, I could have that Rolls Royce that I would like. But I really want to, more than anything, more than like, I mean, you know, I want riches and stuff like that, but like more than anything, I actually do want to like practice like, you know, good business practices with the utmost emotional intelligence. And, you know, I would like to continue fostering community more so than anything because, you know, sure, I could have like a Rolls Royce or whatever, but, you know, if I don't got no community, like who's going to come over when I want to have a barbecue? You know, I really love human connection. And I think more so I just want to, I feel like if I keep working and being better with myself inside and with my business stuff, it's going to reflect in life. And I'm looking forward to that because we getting older. So, you know, I want to, you know, end this bitch real fruitful, you know, shit like that. I want to die at 93 smoking the blunt. My grandkids come in. Oh, grandpa sleeping. No, grandpa dead.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So
Let's talk more about the business practices. Like, what's the ethical business practice for you? Like, how do you want to be moved and how you want to be perceived in the business world?
I don't know if you're familiar with The Godfather, Clarence Avant. I love him. I love the way he does business. You know, he was someone that, you know, like, let's say, you know, you got a sinking deal, and let's say I'm Clarence Avant, you just chopping it up, tell me what you got going on, and you're like, yeah, man, you know, Fast and Furious, they gave me like 25,000 for this clip, and he's like, 25,000. He knows how much you're supposed to get paid for a clip like that. He leaves, makes a phone call. Next thing, you got a phone call coming in. Oh yeah, we raising that shit to 125, 175. You know, IP is something that I feel like for as long as we live, it's going to be a little bit hard to try to place a number. But we know how much money these things make, and people need to be compensated for it. And also, you know, people need to be given like some sort of stake in it. Because, like, look, if I help you work on a short film, it goes to cons, it ends up making like $2 million. Like, let's say you only pay me like $2,000 initially for like whatever help I did. After you don't hit your profit margin, anybody that helped out, they should get a little royalties, because for forever and perpetuity, the reason why you're able to receive these accolades is because you had these people on your team. And I just think we need to look at it in a fairer way. You know, that's all. Like, you know, and it's going to differ for project to project and stuff like that. But we should, you know, we should try to, like, you know, because, like, what the fuck, man? Like, you're going to have kids. They're going to need some money when you leave this earth, you know? So it's like, let's say, like, if everything that you might have done to help somebody in this life, let's say you got a small percentage of that shit years later after, like, it did well, you really might not need, like, to work as hard as you do right now. So, you know, just with that mentality, kind of.
Yeah, I've been big on that. Like, I've been seeing a lot of short films do that, actually, where they, you know, say they don't have no fee to kind of make it. Everyone's working minimum wage, but they all believe in the project, and the project is beautiful. And by the time it's done, you know, they do their festival submissions, and all of a sudden it gets picked up by like Amazon Prime or something like that. It gets sold for millions of dollars. Like, everyone that worked on that crew, from the DP to the PA, deserves stake. You know what I mean? They all put time and energy into your project to see it through. And it's not just the director or the producer that deserves that back end fee. You know, it's every single person that showed up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to kind of make that project happen. Right. So I think I'm starting to see that more, actually, where people be like, yo, I got you on the back end. And whether we have that, let's get it in writing too. Let's make sure, like, people have equity in the projects they do, in addition to the fee that they get just to show up. And that just incentivizes everyone to be way more on board, and incentivizes them to push the project, to promote the project when it's out, and incentivizes it to like put on your website, like, yo, I'm proud of this because I feel right about this project, like, in terms of how I was compensated for it. And, you know, you as a director, people will want to work with you because, like, damn, you're paying people. Like, you're out here, like, really treating your crew right. So, yeah.
And you know who's one of my favorite companies, or my favorite company that practices amazing ethics with businesses? Even. The future is Even. Shout out to Jake and Mac from Even. This is not a solicitation. I don't work with them. Y'all should hire me though. But
the Even,
and I hope they reach out to you, because, you know, they're working with artists, and they're doing some really amazing things, you know, getting people paid and helping them get the right marketing and stuff for their music and their projects. And I hope we have more companies like that coming up in the future.
Yeah, Even, that's the like pay what you want kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, so they have that option, and then they also have it where like, let's say you're gonna release on DSPs 3 weeks from now, it'll be dropped on Even first. So, you know, you have a chance to, like, scoop up like a nice little chunk before it goes on all the regular commercial DSPs. You know, LaRussell fucks with them. You know, I just saw our boy Femdot. He just did something with them. So, you know, it's degrees are getting closer. If Femdot fucking with them, you can fuck with them too.
Word, yeah.
And for you, before we leave, do you have an idea of where you see yourself in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I see myself making films. I low key like I feel like I'm about to be a YouTuber. Like I feel like I'm about to just be getting a YouTube bag.
Yeah.
Just making beautiful vlogs and just I'm cooking. I'm just cooking a steak in my house and somebody watching it and and it has 1 million views and shit like that. Like that's how I want to live and be able to be a creator in that way, as well as make music. Because I'm always looking at different like revenue avenues. I like that, revenue avenue.
Yeah,
that's
revenue
fire.
avenue. Yeah.
That's fire. But yeah, I'm always looking at different places that Brett could come in, and I see myself like being kind of like a hub, just like a connector, just like you said in Godfather. Is like that was fire, because what if that call that he made, he didn't even know that call was happening. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, cool, you got that. I already know who I'm about to contact, and it doesn't even have to be like someone has to pitch to you for you to make an action. If you see it and you want to put somebody on, just make the call and just connect them. Like I've done that where I see a friend and like I have the resource to help them, and just put them in an email, intro them, say, yo, this is my friend, this XYZ, he does this, and to be able to be that resource and not expect nothing in return. But the way the universe works is gonna come back to you. So like it's been that's who I want to be, is to be able to like build all these resources independently, like without a label, and be able to put more people on that are doing it independently as well. Yeah. And build a community that way. And yeah.
Now you just said some stuff, because I know for people trying to network right now to find their new place, the new opportunity, the internet, even though it's brought us all together, I know that people will reach out and don't get any answers. That's the whole point. And I hope people, maybe we can, by our conversation, encourage people to, hey man, once you got that head A&R position, once you got that head of marketing position, whatever it is, don't forget that like maybe 2 years ago, you were probably the same person reaching out, Give people a chance. You never know what might happen, and do it fearlessly, because look, whatever's going to be for you is going to be for you. Sometimes I tell people genius ideas and I'm like, they should probably get charged for that. But it's like, you're going to think of more shit again anyways. Whatever's going to be for you is going to be for you. And just like you got to give fearlessly. Yeah. If you can. Because yin and yang, some people, it's actually within their ethos to be assholes. And because they help with the whole equilibrium of the world and everything. So, but if that's not you, hey.
And we could all give ideas. It's all about who's executing them. You know what I mean? So like you can give, like, there's been times where like, I see someone execute an idea and I'm like, oh, I had the idea, but it's like, no, they executed it first. Like they executed in that way. And even if I were to execute the same idea, we would do it differently.
Right.
So
there you go.
Being very conscious of what my ideas are, and as soon as I have them, immediately making a plan to execute them and moving on to the next one.
Yes, sir.
Has been how I want to move forward, and like has been like why I'm making a lot more music than I am now. Because it's not just, oh, I need to sit on this for a while. It's like, no, I have this idea. While I'm in this headspace, finish it, do what I need to do in order to put it out, move to the next one, hit up who I need to hit up to make the next record. Yeah. And you will grow with your music that way, because you're not always finishing something from a year before. You're finishing something now, and being able to move and grow with your music as well. Yeah.
So as we leave, what would you tell your future child?
My future child?
Yeah. Or children, how would you address them as they're like, they might be 34, 25, 16 right now. You may or may not still be alive, and they're like just looking back on the internet for all things Yemi.
Word. Yeah, I mean, I hope they're if they're 16, I hope I'm still there. But yeah, if I'm like, 50, I'm gonna tell them that like to make more space to fail. Like I think there's not really a I'm bad or good at something. It's whether I'm continuously trying at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that if I were to go and wake up and DJ every day at 7 a.m. and I'm trash now, but in a month or in 2 months, I'm gonna figure it out. Something gonna click, And that's how I feel with music too. Like there's I get a lot of DMs about, yo, like how do you rap, or how do you XYZ, or how do you produce? And it's like I just kept doing it. Like I just kept failing and kept being around people who were nicer than me, and I eventually got better because I wasn't going to be okay with me being trash. Like I was I needed to keep growing, and constantly just letting them know that even after you're out of college, to continuously be a student. Like I'm learning more now than I did in college, just from taking classes and learning, being able to tap into the trades and the resources of the actual like lines of expertise that I want to know rather than I'm forced to know. I think is super important.
Yeah.
And I'm reading more now. I'm like taking classes on like color grading and editing, and like these are things that I love to do and I want to immediately apply it. So as much as I can learn an expertise in it, so that when I go to apply it, I'm super efficient. And I think that's always should be like a key of focus.
Amen. Now don't be a traditional African father. Tell them you love them as well.
I feel like that was a test question. So you're gonna tell them all that before you tell them you love them?
Well, the thing is, they love you. That's why they tell you.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna love them through the failure and the passing grade. You know what I mean? Like, there's, as someone who grew up in a Nigerian family, and I would bring home A minuses, and it's like, why aren't they an A? You know, that was always very crushing to me because I was so hype on this 95, and the fact that I'm only like, have me focus on my good ideas, not my bad ideas. Have me focus on my good test scores, not my bad test scores. Imagine we focused on the 95 we got right and not the 5 that we didn't. You know, like we would grow so much every time.
That's a
because
fact.
Just the awareness of, I know what I got wrong. Next time I go and do it, I'm gonna get it right. But I don't need you to drill that down my throat. I need you to bring me up and make me excited that I actually did pass, and I'm going to do better next time.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Oh, shit. I guess I should say what I'm going to tell mine. Well, your father. Oh.
Yeah. What are you? Sorry. Jasani, so you're a little bit older. You have kids now. They're 16, 18, 20, 25. They're scouring the internet to find young Jasani Jacobs. What do you have, or what do you want to leave on the internet now for them to find later?
Yeah. Well, your father loves you. He loves you dearly. He loves you so much because he loves you so much that he questioned why did he even bring you into this fucking world, because now you got to pay taxes and you really didn't ask to pay taxes. I hope that my will, because I have we got will in our genes, you know, like we do not give up very easily. We're very problem solving people. I hope that enough of that was transferred to you in my sperm and the DNA. I really hope so, because this life is not easy, but it's beautiful. And honestly, you gotta like, it's never not gonna be hard. And it's all about trying to find the beautiful moments. I've lived a life, so if I'm too hard on you, and I'm still alive, definitely bring this video back to like level my ass out, you know?
Facts.
I want you to have as much experience as you can. And, you know, same thing that my mom wanted for me. You know, I want you to do all the things that you would like to do creatively or not. But I would also like you to have like a sustainable living situation. And I will help you. I will not kick you out of the house. But we will figure out some sort of system where you're becoming, you know, financially responsible and stuff. And, you know, try to make good decisions with friends. You know, you might live a life where you're Jeff Bezos, or you might live a life where you just, you know, whoever in your cottage with like just your little family. You know, like you don't have to be an entertainer, you don't have to be anything, but in whichever mode you decide, you know, love hard. Don't be scared, because your father was definitely scared of loving too hard growing up, and you know, at this point where we're at right now, he's working on that. Because loving hard requires trust. And sometimes it's hard to trust people. But you can't live your life just going around not trusting people. That's not how it works. And just be polite, you know. Wipe your ass. Oh, use wet wipes, and don't flush it down the toilet.
Some of the wet wipes, get a Toto.
Yeah. That's a fact. Oh,
Get a bidet.
Get a bidet. Nah, that's a fact.
That would change your life right there.
Yeah, definitely. A bidet or wet wipes, whichever one y'all decide. Hopefully, we're well off, so like it could be just a bidet. But yeah, like, and if you have a car, you know, keep wet wipes in your car. If it's a son or a daughter, yeah, whoever, because you know, when you go on a little date. Let's say y'all go get some barbecue, you ain't got no wet wipes in the car, now you sticky, and like, let's say you get horny, you want to touch each other. No, you can give fucking people pH balances. So keep some fucking wet wipes in your car.
My son said, you went from I love you and trying to keep some wet wipes in your car.
Word. Yeah, that's it, man.
Nah, it sounded like you had, you know, quite some time to think about that response. It sounded like you ready to be a father.
Yeah, we can see.
You've seen so many episodes of Maury and Jerry Springer to do the bad thing.
But you know what's crazy about you mentioning Jerry Springer? Because I try not to bring this up in conversation with people, but Jerry Springer definitely helped shape my like identity. Because like I remember watching at my aunt's house, and I was like, okay, I understand that there's crazy people out here, and you know, I'm not better or whatever, but this is a blueprint of where not to be. You don't want to end up here. But I also appreciate them because niggas need entertainment. You know, it's yin and yang, whatever. But shout out, no, Jerry Springer and Maury, man. I was like, man, if I can avoid having to come to this place, I think I might have done decent enough in this lifetime.
And I also viewed, at a young age, I knew that a lot of TV wasn't true, right? And I knew that like these shows, they put these people in a very bad position and put a camera on them and then like took advantage of their situation. You know what I mean? So when I started to realize that, I'm like, no, these people are just human, like, you know, and like they don't need to just be a spectacle for a show. Then I started to be like, okay, why are they here? Got you. Like this could be any of us. Like, and yeah.
Facts, man.
Period.
And like that, we gonna slap it.
All right, brother.
Ooh, yes,
Jasani Jacobs, thank you for coming to Akinyemi's living room.
Akinyemi.
Let's get it, man. Peace.
Yeah, baby.